Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
What's up? What's up? This is Reese, and I would like to welcome you back to That Will Never Work podcast. Once again, y'all, I have a special guest in the building. His name is Mr. Aaron Mathis.
Hey.
And he, I had him on the show a couple weeks ago, and we was talking about how he started off with Just a Few Guys LLC and his inspiration and how to maneuver in the entertainment industry. Just being positive and how to motivate yourself and surrounding yourself by good people. Well, today we're going to talk to him about another part of his enterprise, the Mathis Youth Foundation. What's going on, bro? How you feeling today?
What's up, man? How you? I'm great. I can't complain. Blessed, man. Appreciate you for having me on the show again.
No problem, man. No problem.
Much
man.
love.
You know, so as I stated, man, you know, we appreciate you coming back. And in this, we're going to talk about your nonprofit arm today. And, you know, give us a little taste or a tidbit about the Mathis Youth Foundation, what y'all about.
Sure. So Mathis Youth Foundation, right now we have our main program is called the Youth Vision Productions. And pretty much I teach or I mentor and instruct basic film, art, creative writing, and basically just mentor young youth kids in underserved neighborhoods.
Okay.
And you know, giving them a platform and a space to work that's safe and, you know, creative environment for them to just build.
Okay.
Bring their own ideas to life. 'Cause the thing is, man, these kids they're exposed to the internet and you know, the music, and they got all this stuff going on, but they get so caught up in the watching others do it.
Right.
They're not doing it themselves.
Got you.
So, you know, they all have different gifts and talents. So I just bring them together and try to figure out, you know, help them figure out and realize what that talent is. And then I give them the you know, the resources that I can, that I'm exposed to, and help them, you know, build on it and get better at what they do.
So what made you even start Youth Mathis Foundation? Or what's the inspiration?
So, as I mentioned on the show a couple weeks ago, I was living in Boston for 10 years.
Right.
And I came back at 2010, and an old friend of mine, also mentor, named Eric Towns, he was actually in process of building his nonprofit structure, which was the Unifying Group of Media.
Okay.
You know, I went to school for graphic design, so I was doing the designing the logos and, you know, the flyers and all his literature for that. Okay. So I was already kind of in that exposure.
Okay.
On the production side, but then he invited me to be on the board.
Okay.
And then I bumped into another high school friend of Keith Staples. Shout out to Keith again.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also in the midst of building his nonprofit, which
Okay.
is Father's Lead.
Okay.
So it was like I was surrounded and working with these organizations, from the rip.
Right.
As soon as I got back home fresh, so I was like a sponge. I was intaking a lot. You know what I mean? I
Right.
was up in Philly, recording shows at schools for Keith's programs.
Okay.
So I was like, man, this is cool, and I always enjoyed working with kids. I taught myself at I taught art at the Swarthmore Community Art Center for 3 years.
Nice.
During the summer, I started at 18. Let me see. No, I was 17 when I started there. 17, 18, and 19. I taught every summer.
Wow.
And I like I said, I've always liked working for kids, and it's like I know I come from Chester. We moved in media in '89, but
Okay.
I've been in Chester, and I seen kids need resources, man.
Right.
And it was my way of giving back, and I had to figure out a way that I could do it, and still like doing what I do.
Okay.
So that's when me and my wife sat down. We was like, well, why don't we just do our own thing? You know what I mean?
Got you.
So I kicked the idea to Keith, and
Okay.
gave him my thoughts on mine, and of course Keith's just like, well, why don't you just do it? Just get it done.
Right.
I said, yeah. It was as simple as that. So again, got on the ball, started writing down the process of it, what I was gonna do, got the game plan going, and started renting out a building in Springfield under the old Quaker House, Friendship Meeting House in Springfield.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we started having our meetings there once a month, and now we're actually partnership with the Church of the Overcomer in Trainer, which is our hometown, and mostly where our kids come from. So we're doing a lot of work there. We meet there twice a month, every first and third Saturday.
Nice.
We have classes. Yeah.
Nice.
And another thing, it's good because it not only brings the kids together and gives them resources and a platform, but it also, the goal is to bring the community together by having little film screenings and dinners, so they can see the kids' productions, you know what I mean, and what they've been doing and their production of it.
Wow.
And now, what is this? I had the idea in 2017. I got it started. Here we are, 220. 3 years in, and it's still moving.
Right.
Have my EIN. In process of getting the actual 501c3 status right now.
So what is that process like? Just trying to get to that 501c3. piece?
So again, that's where my guy Wesley, shout out to Wesley Proctor, comes in. He handles all of that for me. The process isn't that hard, but what I will say is it is very complicated paperwork, and if you don't know what you're doing, I would recommend getting somebody professional to get it done, so it's done correctly.
Right.
Like I've heard of crazy cases where even people, hire lawyers to get it done, and it wasn't done properly.
Right.
Because it's nonprofit work is way different from for-profit paperwork.
Very much so. Very much so.
Like people think it's like, I just do it myself. No, don't do that.
Yeah. Because you're going to miss something.
Yeah, you're going to definitely miss something.
You're going to miss something. You're going to miss an important date that you
IRS
need.
will definitely catch on to that.
Especially when they're trying to crack down on the nonprofits anyway.
Right.
And the fact that churches right now consider themselves nonprofits.
Right.
But technically they're not.
Right.
So and I think that's one thing that people kind of miss sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're trying not to do anything where you have a profit from a church perspective.
Correct.
But in the eyes of the government, no, you're a for-profit organization.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I was asking, like, what's the process like?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think everyone understands that process is a tedious process.
Very.
And you have to make sure that all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted.
Yes.
Most definitely. So you don't come across an IRS audit.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, those type of things. But going back to Chester, so were you born and raised in Chester?
Yes, correct. I was born in Sacred Heart Hospital right on 9th Street.
Okay. So in that, just because of Chester and its reputation of not being one of the better places to be, did you find yourself as a youngster not having a whole lot to do for yourself?
So no, it wasn't a whole lot to do. I mean, my imagination was pretty much crazy anyway.
Okay.
And my mom was very strict, so like my yard was pretty much my limit regardless. Like, I could go over to certain friends,
Right.
certain friends' house, but that was about it. I was in the yard.
Gotcha.
But as growing up a little bit more, moving in media, but
Right.
still being, hanging out because I had family, of course, in Chester still. But like going and being down there and seeing what was missing compared to, what was in media and where I was living then, it was like, wow, like it's a huge difference. Like I wasn't even used to organize sports. Like,
Wow.
you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like that wasn't normal to me. Like watching a whole bunch of a group of dudes riding bikes, even something simple like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it's a huge game changer.
So in that, with you coming from that background of not a whole lot of resources provided to you in one part of Pennsylvania, because Chester is not that far from media.
Right.
It
Right.
really is not.
No.
And, for you to go from one part of Delaware County to another part that is what they're separated maybe by 2 miles, 3 miles, something like
15
that.
minutes away.
Like it's not even that far. Your level of resources changed.
Drastically.
And I think that's one of the things that people don't understand, that they say, oh yeah, you need to just pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Well, sometimes those resources not necessarily available to you.
Right, and you can't.
Right.
And,
Right.
And especially if you're not exposed to it.
Right.
Through school either. And that's one of the main reasons why, the purpose of me creating this program for, kids to have that option. They can, go down the street and go to a meeting, or they can go
Right.
down the street and hit the studio and work on a movie project, or shoot a movie, or shoot a music video.
Right.
You know what I mean? They can have that screening in their neighborhood and have the family come out and see it. You know what I mean? They have that option. And I'm just not stopping at just in Trainer or Chester. Like I'm planning on expanding, like, you know what I mean, to every underserved neighborhood that needs this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Later on, even my wife is she's gonna be doing certification for, babysitting. She's certified through Red Cross to teach CPR. So,
Okay.
The kids would be certified in CPR at a certain age, because I take them 6 to 17.
Okay.
And even after 17, 18, I have an 18-year-old now, which
Right.
started off in the group, and he volunteers and helps out.
Okay.
So it's like it's a continuous cycle.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, with starting the Mathis Youth Foundation and being with Akeef, can you talk a little bit about Akeef and what he does, just a little bit?
Yeah. So Akeef Staples, he started a nonprofit called Fathers League Inc. And pretty much he he does the same thing, but as a more broad level, because he's up in Philly.
Right.
So he's, giving mentoring and resources to underserved youth as well.
Mm-hmm.
He had a program that I was coming out to, actually out in Lima, going out there, speaking to the kids, giving them positive insight, bringing in guest speakers and so on and so forth. That's how I got the edge of what these kids really need, because it was kids in there talking, man. It was just like, wow. It was a girl in there, and just the way she talked, it was like she had no type of no hope, because it wasn't something that she was surrounded by. She was like, yeah, well, I'm from the hood and blah 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 blah, and I'm not, I wasn't raised like that, like, period, and that's it. You know what I mean? So
wow.
If these kids aren't, presented or put in front of these resources, they don't know any better.
Right.
You can't, they not the ones to blame. It's us. It's us to blame. We have to create that platform for them. So that's when it really hit me, like, because I wasn't the best kid either, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even though being out in media, I still was, doing my little dirt. I mean, grades were good. I was doing football and Boy Scouts and all of that, but
right.
I was still, you know what I mean, still doing dibbling and dodging in the hood.
Right.
But I was just blessed and fortunate, to at least have those resources and those other outlooks and aspects of life. So I just want to give that back to them now.
So I think as I'm sitting here listening to you, it makes me think about my West Philly days.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, I was born and raised in West Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was blessed, though. I was in the hood. Yes, I had my quote-unquote hood moments, but I was blessed that those that lived on my individual block of Wilton Street, like, as I look at us as adults now, each and every one of us are CEOs.
Nice.
From someone having their own childcare centers to someone having a skateboard shop, someone doing music, someone doing films, one, two people are hairdressers, interior designers. Like, everybody has had their dibble and dabble in business being a CEO.
Right.
One is he is a CPA. It's a little bit of everything that had come from our block. And truth be told, we're all about maybe 4 years apart, 5 years apart.
Nice.
So we're not even, it's not even a major gap as far as ages go. We have authors, like, we have a lot of people that had come out of this particular block that I had grown up on, Wilton Street off of 52nd Street. So I think sometimes we get lost in, just because you're from this particular neighborhood, you can't be anything.
Right.
Because you're from this particular block, you have no hope.
Right.
You have no dreams. Or just because you're a part of this family, you're like, oh yeah, we have bad luck or whatever else. Like that, again, is that the phrase of the podcast? Like, that'll never work because you don't get the support.
Right.
Again, so it takes someone like yourself who's recognizing, wait a second, kids, there are something for you to do.
Yeah.
There is something for you to look forward to be motivated by. Your dreams, and if y'all haven't heard the previous show, understand what the notebook, mentality,
Write it down.
If you have that notebook already set up and you share it with somebody, you never know who's going to make your dreams come true.
Yeah, absolutely.
A closed mouth doesn't get fed.
That's right.
And sometimes just a change of environment, as you stated, you move from Chester to media, understand, like, whoa, wait a minute, these resources are totally different over here. the way they live over here, again, it's only a mile or two away. It's not even that far.
Right.
You know, you go a couple miles away and you realize like you are truly in a different environment.
Right.
You know, and those persons that are going to support you and help you realize certain things is sometimes it's totally different. You know, and I'm happy that, you know, you're providing that outlet for those kids. Because I would like for you to talk about, I can tell you what his kids have done thus far, but you can talk about what your kids have done thus far.
Okay, yeah. So thus far they've shot and filmed, directed their own little projects. Right now they're up to their fourth short film. Yeah,
nice.
they just did one this past fall. It was a Halloween one called Sunset Park.
Right.
And which, I mean, right now I'm teaching them the edit process. So I do the editing right now.
Right.
But everything else is their ideas. You know what I mean? They're shooting the camera, and it's just awesome to see, like, because when we first started out, you know what I mean, I was teaching them, you know, I taught them the basics, like how to operate the cameras, you know, how to cut and, you know, quiet on set, all that good stuff.
Right.
So now it's just like, all right, y'all, let's get to work. And they're like, boom, boom, and it's getting done.
Yeah.
And it's great to see, man. And when we have our movie munch, we have our movie munch maybe once a year, which is gonna change this year. We'll probably have 2 or 3.
Okay.
That's when we, you know, screen their films and their work and stuff. Have a little pasta dinner, families come out. It's cool.
So one of the things that his kids have also achieved, they've been cast in other projects locally.
Yes.
You know, so they're not just having the opportunity just within Mathis Youth Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
They've been able to take what they've learned in that and apply it in other places.
Absolutely.
You know, I had the privilege of being a casting director for something where they tried out for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and watching them perform and grow right before my eyes. At that time was very inspiring, you know, and people should know that, hey, you know, an organization like Mathis Youth Foundation is needed.
Yeah,
it really is needed. And I know Keith, I had the opportunity of interviewing him a couple months ago for the Mathis Youth Foundation. That was really interesting and insightful interview. So y'all can go back and take a look at that and listen to that. But these kids, they're trying to do something. You know, overall, the kids are trying to find something to do. And as I believe you stated, you know, it's up to us to make that happen for them.
Absolutely. It's just not about you know, sending them. It's not just as easy as just sending them into school now. Like, we have to do more. You know what I mean? We have to have something that's going on when school is over, when school is done. Summertime, what are they doing? Right. In the street, getting into trouble. Right. Playing basketball or football.
Yeah, but even with that, you know, sometimes depending, especially if you play for an organization, sometimes they don't even want you to do that anymore. They don't want you to play in the street anymore. Right. You know, and the fields, at least out here in Delaware County, where we live, sometimes you can't even touch the fields during the summertime because they're getting ready for their own organizations, you know, stuff. You know, so you would think that, hey, it's for the community, but sometimes the stuff, it really isn't for the community at a certain time.
For sure.
You know, in certain places. So so that's why I say, like, you know, this is another outlet. And because they're also taking away after school programs, you know, funding for this stuff. They're talking about how they're closing all these schools in Philly and building this, you know, couple $100 million jail now. But at the same time, you're closing schools. Yep. Like, that doesn't make sense. You know, so, you know, I really would love for y'all to really support, you know, Aaron here, you know, with this Mathis Youth Foundation. If you're in the area, make sure that you go and go to the movie munch.
Appreciate it.
You know, make sure you go to. Wait a minute, y'all got other things kind of going on too, because you got the painting thing, and even though it's not necessarily with Mathis Youth Foundation, but you have other programs that goes on that helps support all that. I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
Right. Yeah. As you were saying, we do fundraisers. We do paint with a twist, or paint for a purpose. Like I said, right now our main hub is at Church of the Overcomers in the Kodo Caf.
Right.
If stop by if you're not doing nothing. We're down there every first and third Saturday, 1016 Sunset Street, Church of the Overcomer. Come check us out, Trainer PA. Our next movie event will be in May. That's our next movie munch.
Okay.
Don't have a exact date on that, but it will be in May.
Okay.
But yeah, we do, and right now it's cool because working with the kids, they're starting to get the gist of, all right, we need to do something to create revenue so we can keep this thing going.
Right.
So now they're giving fundraiser ideas. Let's do a
nice,
talent show.
nice.
So now they trying to put a talent show together, and they recruiting, their friends and from school. So it's decent, man. It really is.
That's nice.
It really is.
That's nice.
And like you said, man, you watching these kids grow up. I've been, I've known them before the program, but just being in the program to where they are now, it's amazing to see how far they come, man.
And I think once you provide them an opportunity, and now they can see that, hey, my talent can go beyond what I'm doing right here.
Right.
Like I mentioned about them auditioning for other films, and they're being a part of the film. And I was there to see them standing in front of the crowd, and just they're smiling, like they're beaming because of that opportunity. Like I said, you can see the kind of like the growth that they're going through. So again, I applaud you, man, for the hard work that you're putting forth, man, and and not saying, this is not going to happen.
Right.
Not falling to, hey, I'm a Chester guy and I can't do anything else.
Right.
Because some people get sucked back into that.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Right.
And that's not where things are. That's not where you should be. We should always be progressing, and pulling out our fellow man one way or the other. So I appreciate you, man. And do you want to let the people know where they can find you and find your schedule for your Youth Mathis Foundation, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on Facebook, Aaron Mathis. Our actual youth program is on Instagram. It's under Youth Vision Productions Team. Also, Mathis Youth Foundation is also on Instagram. All our schedules and updates are on there right now. We're actually working on the website now. But yeah, that's where you can find all the info and updates on what's going on with us. Yep.
All right, y'all.
Schedule and everything is on there. Check us out. Like I said, every first and third Saturday at the Kodo, Church of the Overcomer, bottom cafeteria basement we meet. Come check us out.
And don't forget, y'all can also donate to them too.
You can also donate as well. That's right.
So I don't want to leave that part out. You get what I mean?
No doubt.
So man, I thank you for coming out and talk with the people today. And I hope that y'all have gotten some more information about, just starting your own nonprofit, what the process may be. And again, keeping that circle of people around you that's going to continue to motivate you.
That's right.
Thank y'all for listening to That Will Never Work, y'all. This is Maurice. Peace.
Peace out.